Welcome to the future. PBS Digital.
All over America, battered mothers are losing custody of their children when they file for divorce.
I naively thought that, if somebody molests their kid, I thought they'd just go to jail.
Even with a proven record, abusers are winning joint and sole custody.
To win custody of the kids over and against the mother's will is the ultimate victory, short of killing the kids.
I was just snatched up from my normal life, and all that anyone would tell me was that my mom was crazy and that she was going into the mental hospital.
In a case where those children have been abused or the mom has been abused, what's really best for children is for their safety to be made the top priority and for their healing.
It was just so scary because I was like, let's run away, let's get out of here, Because, all this has happened. I mean, what kind of person would take you away from your mom?
A third of the women in the U.S. will be victims of domestic violence. It will have devastating effects on their children. The Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation is proud to underwrite this program.
I know that there are organizations who are out there and advocates who are supporting each other. I'm more action-oriented, and I can't settle down. And it's the only way I think that I can even find healing, even though you can't be healed until you're on the other side of the fence. It's a way of keeping me going, is doing something. And,
mothers are never prepared for their children to disclose sexual abuse. And when my children disclosed, I didn't want to believe it, but I didn't know what to do either. And I was in the midst of a divorce, and the children had only that 1 week begun to see their father alone when we had separated, and that's when they came home, and one of them was in serious pain, and she was quite inflamed in her vaginal area. And so when you start going through the battles, it's number one, you don't know what to do. I turned to my attorney, and I was given very, very bad advice. I turned to the courts through my attorney, and I found that the more my children disclosed, the more the court didn't want to believe that my children had been abused. They believed their father instead, and they took the children away from me totally. It's been 4 years and 3 months since I've even seen my children.
There is always the dilemma as to whether this is child abuse is an actual event as being reported by the mother. So on the one hand, if the mother allows it, they'll say, well, she is a neglectful mother and take the child away because you neglected to protect. And on the other hand, all too often, the mother says, especially after a divorce, a separation or a divorce, where the mother is now able to see things that she didn't realize that were going on, like child sexual abuse, on behalf of the perpetrated by the ex-husband. Now she's able to see these symptoms.
Well, clearly my daughter has been abused, and it's all documented, and she wrote a lot of letters to the judge by herself and tell the abuse, and the judge, actually that made the judge very upset, and the judge thought that my daughter directly challenged him. So he not only gave the sole custody to my ex-husband, also put me back to supervise the visitation 4 hours every other, once a month. And after that, I just collapsed, and I just couldn't hold together, even though I know I have all the truth, and but just too overwhelmed.
My sister has been extremely, extremely heartbroken over this matter. The fact that she's been taken away from her family. She's always been there to see the conflict between my parents. She's always been there to see the abuse that my father has really subjected his family to. So she's always been there first-handedly seeing what's going on. It's tragic. I'd say, that she is forced to go live with the same person she suffered at the hands of.
I told my daughter that she was gonna stay with Dad and only come back in a weekend to see Mom and her brother, and she was just devastated. And she also, at that point, revealed to her therapist that her father molested her for probably 4 or 5 years. He been tug her every night, and she said that's when did that happen for all these years. So I called CPS, and the therapist of my daughter called CPS. I filed a report to the police department. Then we filed a reconsideration with this new evidence.
That if he is in fact molesting her, and she's having all this upset, and she's pulling out of her eyebrows, and she doesn't know what to do because she's lived with him in the past and has seen his violence, that when he tells her he's going to be getting custody of her, she finally reveals what he has been doing to her. And the response to that is for her to be given to him and completely separated from her mother, completely. Birthday, Christmas, no contact whatsoever, to be isolated from her brother. And his motivation is clear. He has got to keep her quiet. And that's what this is all about.
There is no change of circumstances presented in the current motion. In effect, this is a second bite of the apple.
Commissioner basically said the sexual abuse allegation is suspicious because the time-wise, and why didn't child review this before?
The motion is denied.
There are quite a number of cases in which a battering man also sexually abuses children. There's a high overlap between domestic violence perpetration and incest perpetration, statistically speaking. And I've seen the anguish of mothers whose children are being sexually abused and where the court refused to permit her to protect her children.
My daughter called me the first night after she went to her father's house. She talked to me 5 times on her cellular phone.
Nadia, sweetie, give me some time, okay? Give me some time. I need some time to have a look. Today, Nadia, today, okay? Are they threatening you on anything? No. Okay, Nadia, hang on there. Hang on there, okay, Nadia? Let me work on it, okay? What? I can't hear you. Talk a little louder. You don't care you gotta bring your where? Okay, Tanya, just listen. Hang on there now. Don't go anywhere, okay? Hang on there, sweetie. Give me some time to work it, okay? I love you, sweetie. I'm working you out there. Okay, Manya, hang on there. You're fine, Manya. You know what, Manya? I know you're not fine. But, Manya, deep breath.